There was a change back in the mid-'60s in the church world from one term to another, and I think I've shared this before in the past, but it is certainly something that fits into what we're talking about this morning. It was a change of one simple word. Before that, the word surrender was often used in much of what was the expectations of publications and things, and it was moved to the word commit. Commit. Language began to center around a different emphasis around the word commit, that we would commit our lives, we commit our giving, we commit our time, our service, all those things to God. Which sounds good, but it is radically different from surrendering. Surrendering those things to God, which is a completely different concept, because when you surrender it, you understand God owns it all. He calls all the shots. It's under His control. And maybe you're here this morning because you have committed yourself to Sunday school, to church, to being a part of the body of Christ, and that this is what you do. You've committed yourself to maybe a Bible study or to even to time in prayer or something like that, which is a good thing, but Jesus is looking for people with surrendered lives. That is what God is ultimately looking for. 2 Chronicles 16:9 says, "The eyes of the Lord move to and fro throughout the earth, that He might strongly support those whose heart is completely His," whose heart is surrendered. Not just those who are committed, but those who are completely His. You know, if you make a commitment, it can run its course. But a surrender is who you are. It never, ever changes. And we can surrender to one or two places. You can surrender to God, or you can surrender to the devil. And when we surrender to God, God becomes all-encasing in our life. We may surrender to the devil and give up and say, "I'm not even going to try anymore." And Satan begins to have his way in our life. But surrender is something that is radically different, because, again, you can finish a commitment, but a surrender never goes away. I can remember when there was a point in time when Lynn and I were living in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I was working for my dad back in the late 80s, and we were looking for a church to be involved in. And we got involved at Eastwood Baptist Church in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And one of the reasons that we ended up at Eastwood is the teaching was good, it was solid, and also there were opportunities to get involved one way or another. And I actually went up and I found the Sunday school director, and I said, "I want a place to teach." I could have said, "I want a vacation. This is a great time to relax." But you know what? I didn't surrender for that. And I knew that God, that is, if I wasn't doing that, I was not going to be fulfilling what God had called me to in life. And God had that passion in my life to continue to do that no matter what the circumstances of my life are. And that is a reflection of surrender. Now, commitments may change and fluctuate, and you may be in different spots of your commitments here and there, but a surrender is an overall picture that you're always going to be doing it, one way or another, serving God. That is the difference between a surrender or a commitment. The definition of surrender is place yourself at another's disposal. This word that Paul uses in this chapter 1, it's a specific tense in Greek, which is an aorist tense, which means that you have done something once for all. In other words, you did something in the past that's going to affect the entirety of your future. And this present yourself is a point of surrender that you make at a point in time that doesn't change. And it's constant for the rest of your life. And it may take different faces to it, but it is constantly for the rest of your life. And it sets the direction for all of the time that you remain on this world.